Ventures proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer, Ronnie Shields.
Woo! Guys, it is Tuesday night. James, what does that mean, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific?
Ladies and gentlemen, that means we have real boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields.
Woo! I love it. Ronnie, welcome to the show, sir. And I tell you what, did you get, so this has been a burning question in my brain. Did you get a chance to sit down and watch the fights with your man, Andreas Katsarakis from Athens, Greece?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, I had a fight, and then he had to go to. I had a fight at the Boxing Hall of Fame, and he went to California for a few days. So when we get back, then we'll sit down and we'll watch it.
Oh, yeah. You guys had round of the year thus far. That was amazing. Congratulations to you and David Stevens.
Thank you. Thank
Wow. I tell you what. So your man, Mr. Thayez, he was in camp with David Benavidez, wasn't he?
you. No,
No?
no.
Oh, okay. I thought, no, you're right. He's too small, isn't he?
He's too small.
My apologies. He's 54. My apologies, sir.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we've got a lot to discuss. James, do you think we should just jump into Fact or Fiction, or do you have anything that you'd like to ask the esteemed Mr. Shields?
No, not necessarily. Just, we'll have a little bit of a interview earlier today with one of Ronnie Shields' pupils there in Vito Milnicki Jr.
Right.
So that was very enjoyable there, and getting ready for Mr. Floyd to, ain't no ducking and dodging.
Yeah. So, without further ado, Mr. Mayweather.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
We ain't ducking and dodging nobody.
Keeps getting better and better, my friend. Tell you what, number one, Big James, please.
Here we go. Tank Davis will win a tactical, unanimous, but controversial decision over Frank Martin this Saturday. Fact or fiction?
That could really be a fact. I really believe this fight is going to be really close. I don't see anyone getting knocked out in this fight. I think Tank is, he's always a good fighter. He's always prepared, but so is Frank Martin. And I think that Frank is going to give him a little bit of problems. I really do believe he's going to give him problems early. But I think Tank will solve them probably around the fourth, fifth round. But I don't see him knocking Frank out. I mean, I really don't. And this could be a really, really close fight that can go either way.
It's hard to imagine Frank Martin getting knocked out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's so crafty.
Yes, he is. He's a really good fighter, man. And, I love his style and always in shape, and he comes to fight. So, but so does Tank, and I think that it's gonna be a close fight, but it can go either way.
So I tell you what, so when you think about it, James, how many southpaws, as crafty as Frank Martin, has he faced? Was it Pedraza was one? Can you think of any other southpaws that he's faced?
Other than Pedraza, no.
No.
Yeah.
That's what makes this interesting. Can you think of one, Ronnie?
No, I can't think of any other one that he fought. But I tell you like this, man. When you get to a certain level in the sport of boxing, it doesn't matter if you're southpaw, if you're orthodox. It just doesn't matter. People keep bringing that up like, oh, it matters because you're this or you're that. No, it doesn't matter because, at this level, you have to know how to fight whoever that's in front of you.
Indeed.
You just have to know that. And it shouldn't be no question, oh, he's southpaw. That's so what? That doesn't make a difference. Just because he's a southpaw, don't automatically give him a win. That used to be the case so many years ago when people thought, oh, he's a southpaw, he's going to win. No, that doesn't matter. Southpaws get knocked out too.
And there it is. There it is. It's funny when you look at Tank Davis and you look at how beautifully he jockeys for that position with his lead hand.
Yes.
He's not going to be able to do that against Frank Martin.
Yeah, I mean, I really, well, we have to wait and see what's going to happen. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but the thing about it is we have to see the game plans, for both guys, and see who's going to initiate what, because you never know. Because Tank is a really he's not going to come out and try to jump on Frank Martin. That's not his style. His style is to sit back and wait and see what he sees, and then try to capitalize on it. And Frank, Frank had to take the initiative in the fight, though. And I think they know this, because he can't afford close rounds.
There it is. There it is. I tell you what, this is going to be an intriguing fight, guys. And for anyone who's in the San Antonio area, not only am I going to be, quasi working the Robert Garcia event at the Boeing Techport Arena this Saturday night, but I'm also going to be hosting, trying to anyway, organizing at least, a pay-per-view watch party at Dave & Buster's this Saturday. And I'm going to be with the guys at South Park Boxing. We're going to be announcing our upcoming event on August 24th. I'm going to be doing all the announcements, and our ring card girls are going to be there. So, guys, show up and take some pictures with our lovely ring card girls. So, guys, come up and say hi at Dave & Buster's, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I do have something, because I made an announcement earlier today, right? And Minnie Meal, welcome to the show. He says, man, where's the David Benavidez cut that required stitches? I will show it to you. I'm glad you asked me that, brother. So let me show it to you here. Hold on. I took a screenshot of this baby. Oh, I don't know if you can see it now then. Hold on.
Oh.
Let's see this.
You do a shared screen of it.
Still can't see it. Still can't see it. So we're going to take that
Where
off.
is it? Is it in his mouth?
No. Hardy har, Mr. Shields.
That's all I see.
I know. It's just the picture's too big. It's not showing it, but it's on that left eye. And according to Adam Lopez, who spoke to someone as well who was in camp in the first part of the camp, they said it happened early in camp, but it did require stitches. So we'll see. But they're hiding it with makeup. And when you see the picture, I'll post it underneath when the show's finished so you can actually see it. Now, Ronnie, have you ever heard of that? A guy getting cut in camp and then still being able to fight on fight night?
Well, it happened to my guy, Philip Hergovich, 3 weeks before the fight. And, he took six stitches, over his left eye. So, yeah, I mean, but that was 3 weeks before the fight. So it still was a little tender, but he was able to push through it.
More than likely, it looks like the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to allow David Benavidez to fight. But if you're Alex or Alexander Gvostik, you're targeting that eye, aren't you?
Oh, goodness, yeah.
If you don't, you're crazy.
Yeah, well, let's just pray that he doesn't use the Daniel Dubois dynamite head method of splitting that eye open again. Ching, yow, man, that was so disappointing. Oh, jeez. I tell you what, though. But guys, yeah, that's it. That's the left eye. And Once again, if you look closely, yeah, he's covered up with makeup. But Minnie Mill says, yeah, can't see no cut, but that's a good sign. Let him fight. Yes. And look, from what I've been told, Ronnie, he looks superb. He looks like an animal at 175, not having to kill himself to make weight. And he's been ripping through all of his sparring partners. The hand speed is there, the foot speed, the strength, the power, it's all there. And that's why he still wanted to go through with this fight desperately. And so what do you think? So I well let's do fact or fiction number 2, right? Big James, number 2, sir.
All right. We got David Benavidez will be losing his fight with Alexander Kovacic on the judges' scorecards before stopping him in the 11th round of their scheduled 12-round co-main event this Saturday. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Oh boy.
That's a big fiction for me. Look, 175 is really and truly David Benavidez's weight. That's his weight class. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. He's been there for a long time, been killing himself trying to make 168 pounds. And, he's big for the weight, and 175 just fits him perfectly. So he's not going to have to struggle to make that. So he should be really strong. And, he's going to come out. He's not a fast starter, no matter what weight he's at. But, it takes him 2-3 rounds to get started. As soon as they get started, then he just lets his hands go. And, and a lot of guys haven't been able to keep up with that. So, and I don't expect it to be no different in this fight.
Yeah, look, Ronnie, as soon as Big David finds that range, pretty much all over, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Look, fast hands and a good puncher, You got to have somebody to match that.
Oh boy, I tell you what. SSP Diving, want to welcome you to the show, sir. Says, welcome, coach. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day. And the Keggy. Man, hope this guy's still not crying about Dubois smashing up his guy with his head. Oh, dude, stop it. Just stop it, dude. Chingao, dude. I'm sorry. Keggy, tell us more about the business that me, Ronnie, and James are in. Why don't you tell us so much about the business that we're in? Okay? Chingao, dude. Here it is. Coach, any news on you training Ryan Garcia? Why is he often compared to Oscar?
I don't know. No, I haven't spoken to anybody about Ryan Garcia, so you can squash that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let us jump then to number 8.
Okay.
Big James.
Despite doing his best Keith Moon impression this past Saturday,
Drummer for the Who, by the way, guys. Drummer for the Who. He was infamous for smashing up every hotel room that he was in while they were on tour. So there it is, music trivia. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
Ryan Garcia remains the biggest real boxing draw in the U.S. market. Fact or fiction?
Well, I think that could be a fact. His numbers don't lie. He does really good on all his numbers, and that's something that that can be disputed. So that's what it is.
But Ryan, or I'm sorry, Coach Ronnie, he can't be doing any more of this stuff, or else do you think that's going to impact his numbers? Because this is getting a little out of hand now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't know what it is with him, because I really, I've met him a few times, but I don't know anything about him, and I don't know his character. So, but somebody needs to sit him down, maybe his father, trainer, somebody, promoter, need to sit him down and tell him life is short, that the opportunities are not going to be there always. So he had to take advantage now of everything that's in front of him, and that's his boxing career. I think he need to put that first. And everything else will fall in place. But until he does that, you know, things are going to like this are going to continue to happen because sometimes, it takes somebody to sit you down to bring you back to reality. Because obviously, right now, he's lost.
Mm, there it is. There it is, brother. And let's go back to the question here. Hold on. And the second part of it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Mini Meal had a second part of the question. Let me see. Here it is. Why is Ryan Garcia often compared to Oscar? And hopefully your answer doesn't involve kitchen utensils.
No, I mean, I
Oh,
don't know,
jeez.
because, coming up, I guess Oscar was the golden boy. And,
Mm-hmm.
similar, that style similar to Ryan Garcia's, and so this is probably why, they want to compare him to Oscar. And, that's the only reason I think they do compare him is just because of similar styles when he was coming up, when
So,
Oscar was coming up.
yeah, popular kid, good looking kid,
Yes.
monster left hook, the
Yep.
speed that kills, crazy
Yep.
good reflexes. But he'd be wise not to participate in the extracurricular activities, fishnets, that Oscar did. Now, look, I have to ask you this, Ronnie. Have you been paying attention to Oscar roasting Canelo
No, I
online on
haven't
social
actually.
media? Oh,
I haven't. No.
James, would you like to fill him in? Did you see that? He's drinking a glass of wine, kicking back on his chaise, right? And he goes, I still hear that you're talking shit about me. And thanks to you being so chicken shit and avoiding David Benavidez, you just made me and my fighter, Jaime Munguia, a shit ton of money. Shithead. He says he's not lying though, is he?
No, but he also didn't mention that Canelo brought my man. He brought Miguel a truck, a Jeep.
And there it is. And there it is. And there it is. I tell you what though, you know what? We're going to be jumping all over fact or fiction today, guys. And we're going to finish saying hello to our dear friends in the chat in just one bit. But I do have to bring this up. Here it is. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, maybe I didn't put it in. Maybe I didn't put it in. Oh, dang. Oh, here it is. Yes, it is. Right here. Number 6, James, please. James.
Yeah, hold up. I don't know what happened there. All right, Turkey LLC will send Canelo a contract with a guaranteed payday of $150 million to face David Benavidez in September, but Alvarez will turn it down. Fact or fiction?
I would say fiction on that one.
Mm.
I don't know. I really and truly believe that Turkey is really interested in Terence Crawford and
Mm.
Canelo. Then maybe after that, that can happen. But Crawford has to do his thing on August 3rd first. He has to look really good in order for him to get that invite to do something like that against Canelo. He has to really look great. And I'm sure he's training really hard to do that. But I think that fight will be before Benavidez. And, I just think that he really likes Terence Crawford.
Mm. From what I've been told from Camp Benavidez, that they have been talking with Turkey Al-Sheikh, Samson Lukowitz, as well as Jose Sr., and they claim that they're going to be putting Canelo in check, getting the money to, well, send him a contract, make him an offer, but both of them state that they have no confidence that Canelo Alvarez wants that smoke. They think he's just pricing himself out, and they don't believe he'll be willing to face Benavidez either this year or next. Ronnie, do you think they're underestimating the warrior heart of Canelo Alvarez?
Absolutely. I really and truly believe that. I think $150 million, yes, he'll say yes to that.
Yeah.
Um, and, look, I believe Canelo believes in himself, despite what anybody else thinks, and got to remember, you know, Canelo has never fought anybody like Benavidez, but at the same time, he's always made adjustments to everybody he's fought. So, except for Bivol. And, and Bivol that night was a different animal. So, but remember, it'll be back at 168 pounds. And that's going to be tough for Benavidez to try to get back down there. Once you get the taste of 175, he may say, you know what, I'm not doing 168 no more. So I'm not sure it might be on Canelo's end. It might be on Benavidez' end to try to make it, you know, between 168 and 175.
You know what? Do you smell that, James? That smells like an article, brother. I agree wholeheartedly, Coach. That is plausible. Indeed. I'll tell you what, the Keggy, boy, he's been really, really vocal here on the chat. And he says there's a real chance Frank Martin, Vostik, and Liam Perro could pull off the upsets. We'll see what Coach Ronnie thinks about that. Here it is. And we're going to be jumping around, guys, all night in no particular order. But here it is, number 4.
Right. Subriel Matias will smash Liam Paro this Saturday in Puerto Rico and remind everyone why he's the baddest dude at 140 pounds, fact or fiction.
Man, that could be a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I love this kid, man. I love the way he comes out. And if you ain't ready for this kid, man, you got to be ready for that pace that he's going to set. You have to be one hell of a boxer to slow this guy down. And I haven't seen that guy yet at 140 pounds that can slow Matisse down. And because Matisse is punching, they may not look like hard punches at the beginning, but trust me, at the end, you feel them. And this guy, you have to be ready for that. And the only thing where you can stand up to this guy, you got to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're worrying about just throwing one punch to try to hit this guy and hurt him, you got big problems on your hand. But he does have one loss. So somebody figured that out. So they better go back and look at that and see why he lost that fight.
Yeah, and I think he avenged that loss, didn't he, James?
Yeah, Texas Onion. Yep, he was able to for sure.
Oh, yeah, he stopped his ass too. I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, and I think you called it last week. You said, look, someone needs to remember to go to his body. That's the only chance you have in letting some air out of the tires, in the immortal words of Teddy Atlas. And I can't see any other way, Coach, because you know what? You may have a great chin, but I've never met anyone who has a terrific midsection.
Well, the thing about it is, the guy gets good leverage on his shots. And so while his shots aren't coming hard at the beginning, he mixes it up to throw hard shots. And with punches coming at you like that, you have to slip and touch his body, and keep touching and touching and touching. Hopefully something might get through. But if you don't get nothing through, you're in trouble because this guy is going to continue to be on your butt for 12 rounds.
Yep. And if you are successful in hurting him, you better finish him.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
this guy is in such great condition, training in the high altitude in the Mexican mountains. He's going to recover very quickly.
Absolutely.
just like Williams and Peta. They're stablemates. They've got the same trainer.
Yeah.
Oh, Chingao. So I'll tell you what, we'll see if Kegi has the beat. And I think he's wishful thinking. And look, if you had to pinpoint this, if there was anyone who had the best chance of pulling off the upset, in your mind, Ronnie, who would it be of those three?
Frank Martin. I really believe
James,
him.
would you concur, sir?
I'd say Gavassi.
I'll say Frank Martin as well. I like the southpaw position. And in my opinion, to support everything that Coach Ronnie said, when you look at the last three opponents Frank Martin's had in Jackson Mariñez, Michelle Rivera,
Over
and
Artem Hartunian.
Artem Haratunian.
Hartunian.
Haratunian. He was forced to take the lead and add that new wrinkle over those last three fights. In my opinion, that was brilliant seasoning from Tom Brown and Ron Katz, one potential Hall of Famer and one current Hall of Famer matchmaker. That was brilliant. In my opinion, that gave him the right seasoning to effectively cut off the ring, close the distance, and work behind that beautiful, intelligent lead hand of his. That's going to create a lot of problems from that southpaw position, in my opinion. I think Coach Ronnie may be right this weekend. But, guys, that's why they fight the fights. We'll see, because only 2 people have made it the distance against Tank Davis. He's 29-0 with 27 knockouts. One of them's Isak Cruz, and another one was what, at the 8-round stage?
Yeah.
And that's it, guys. I tell you what, but I can't see Gvostic. From what I've been told from Benavidez in camp, I can't see him making it past the 8th or 9th round. I can't see it. And Liam Parrow, forget about it. Forget about it. Honestly, I think we have a better chance of, Bobby Kennedy Jr. getting elected as president. Honestly. I'm not joking. But Canelo's World, welcome to the show, sir. He says, is this boxing league for real? Sounds pricey, but Turkey has the money. Guys, it was just reported that Turkey Al Sheikh and the Saudi royal family, they plan on making an offer, well, that every major promoter can't refuse. Bob being 92, Eddie Hearn saying, well, if it makes the right offer, why not? As long as we still get to run the show. And then Oscar, boy, he's been wanting to sell Golden Boy for a minute now. Ronnie, can they make a boxing league like the UFC?
With money, you can do anything you want to do.
Especially when you can print your own money.
Absolutely.
Basically.
The thing about it is, yes, if you have the money, the fighters are going to come, despite, them having promotional contracts or whatever. They definitely, because, it's going to be upfront money. You're going to see the money. It's not like you got to wait for the money to come in. It's already there. And that's what every fighter wants. This is a business. And until we start looking at that stuff like it's a business, then, and they know that, you can make you can make it however you want to. This guy can come in and change everything. WBA, WBC, IBF may not mean nothing anymore if this guy has his way.
And that would be a bad thing, Ronnie?
That's a great thing. No, that's what I'm saying. It's a great thing because all of the fighters are going to jump on this.
That's it.
All the fighters going to jump on it because the money is right in front of you. And it doesn't make sense, because this is a business and this is what you're in business for, to make money.
That's it. That's it. I tell you what, this is very interesting, guys. And once again, I'm surprised that someone actually leaked this because The deals aren't even close to being made yet. But with Turkey Al Sheikh and the Saudi royal family forking out so much money over the past year, let's just face it, the past 6-7 months only.
Yeah.
This looks like a very realistic possibility. So, guys, we'll keep you informed as soon as we find out. Keggy also says, yeah, Queensbury Boxing is a lead promoter. I wonder why that is. Can anyone say MTK Global? And there it is, guys. There it is. Why do you think Terrence Crawford had no problem getting a fight with the Saudi royal family, with fights being brokered by MTK Global? And there it is. And there it is. Am I being subtle enough, guys? Come on now. Come on. Oh, boy. Oh, Adam Hurley. Look at this. Imagine the draw. Ryan Garcia versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. Ronnie, I'm sure Oscar is hoping that fight does not happen as of yet. Maybe let it nurture, let it bake, as in, like Bob Arum would say, you put it in the oven and you let it bake, right? I'd say it takes a good 2 to 3 years for this to bake. But by that time, Ryan maybe making his way to 54, and Virgil Ortiz will already be moving up to 60. I'm not sure that this fight ever happens, Coach Ronnie. What say you?
Yeah, because of the weight difference right now, Ryan is still the smaller guy, and Virgil's still growing. So yeah, he's at 54 right now, and he'll be 60 soon, and Ryan not even close to that. So, but the old saying, money talks and bullshit walks. So if
There
they
it
make
is.
him an offer, Ryan and Virgil will get down to maybe meet him in the middle at about 150 pounds.
What I want to know is what the heck does Turkey Al Sheikh or MTK Global, whatever you want to call it, what do they have against Tom Loeffler? Because Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Sergey Boachuk should have been on that August 3rd card. Turkey Al Sheikh said, no, we don't want to work with Sergey Boachuk. That's a great matchup. And from what I'm hearing, they're on the verge of ironing out their own headlining date on DAZN. Coach, that's a great matchup. All
Yes.
balls. Both guys don't know any other way but forward. Who
Yes, sir.
wins this, Coach?
I don't know, man. I think it's a pick 'em fight. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and there it is. Alonzo, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you. And please, yes, smash the likes, and thank you for supporting the coach on this day. Yes, Adam. Get a little fishnet. Let's hope Ryan stays away from the tranny work there. Yeah, on that Lamborghini. That's what I was referring to, guys. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Can't believe I said that. Especially during Pride Month, whatever the hell that means. Chinga. I'm sorry, guys. Sid UK, welcome to the show, sir. Says Canelo wouldn't turn that money down. I think it's tough, but he beats Benavidez right now. His recent fight showed he's still good. He's good for Jaime Munguia. Ronnie, Benavidez at 75 or even at, 70. That's a different story now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough fight for Canelo, man. The style. Got to remember, the styles make fights. And Benavidez has that style where, he throws a lot of punches. And Canelo don't like that. He don't like punches thrown at him a lot like that. A guy that's real busy. He hates that. He can't set you up that way. Benavidez, tall, long. Got that long reach. Canelo would have problems getting inside.
Guys, we learn something new every time we speak to Coach Shields. That's very insightful. So what you're saying is that even though he's a prolific counterpuncher and he looks for those openings, when a counterpuncher deals with a high volume puncher, that's not that easy, is it?
It's not easy because, you have to go defense and then you got to come right back with offense and then come back again with offense again because, Benavidez is like Matias. He's busy always. If you're going to be Benavidez, you got to do something early, like in the first 3-4 rounds. If you don't do nothing then, and Canelo it's not that kind of starter
Yep.
to say, okay, I'm gonna jump on him right from the beginning. He's not that kind of guy, to do that. As
Oof.
great as he is, he don't have that in his repertoire.
Oh boy. I tell you what, I hope they make this fight. T. Sanders, thank you for supporting the coach on this day. Says chance of Crawford fight happening is higher than Benavidez. That'll be such a great fight. Coach, let's be honest. Which one would you rather see, sir?
I would rather see Benavidez than Canelo.
I think we all would. But I have to say, at the very least, and I know you've stated before, hey, this is why they have weight classes, but you've also stated before, Crawford knows how to handle himself. And this is going to be a lot more intriguing than most people realize. It'll be a lot more competitive than most people realize. Why did you say that before, Ronnie?
Let me tell you something, man. Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters ever to put on a pair of gloves.
Oh,
He knows how to fight inside. He knows how to fight outside. He has great defense. And, he's not the biggest puncher in the world, but you don't have to be the biggest puncher in the world. But he's one of the most accurate fighters you're going to ever see. The guy rarely misses anything. And this is what keeps him in fights.
I tell you what, guys, either fight is must-see TV.
Without
Tell
a
you
doubt.
what, but right now we're gonna go back to the fight card this Saturday. Number 3, Big James.
Here we go. Gary Antoine Russell will earn a mid to late round stoppage over Alberto Puello to win the interim WBC junior welterweight title. Fact or fiction?
I think that's a fact. I
Mm,
think this Gary Antoine Russell is better than all of the rest of the
mm,
Gary Antoine Russells.
that's
You know,
saying something.
yes,
Oof.
this kid is really good. He's the real deal. And I like Pololo. I've seen him fight a few times. He's really good. But I think Gary Antoine Russell is going to be a little bit too much. He likes to throw punches, and this is one of the Russells that does have a little power with him that go along with everything else he does. And it doesn't hurt that his older brother, is training him now. Since their father died, and he really wants to win this for his father, and that gives you extra incentive. So, I think Gary Antoine Russell will win by a late round stoppage.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great fight, guys. All balls. This is going to be action filled, and I can't wait to see it, guys. This fight card is going to be outstanding, guys. Try to catch all of it, and even all the early bouts, all the prelims on YouTube. Check out all of them. I'll tell you what. Uh, what was I going to say? This was going to the fight card. I guess I forgot. Oh, Chingao. Man, getting old sucks, Ronnie. No. I was going to say this. Here's a bonus factor fiction. Now I know you were glued to the TV when you paid for Adrian Broner versus Blair the Filler Cobbs. I know you saw all 10 rounds. Coach, bonus factor fiction here. Rolly Romero will take on Blair the Flair Cobbs for the WBC light skin brother belt at 47. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact. That could be a fact.
Who do you like in that fight, Coach?
Well,
Does it matter?
Not really. It doesn't really matter. But I think Rolly is probably the puncher in the fight.
That is
Yeah.
for sure. That is for
Yeah,
sure.
I do. I believe Rolly's
Um,
the puncher.
yeah, and neither guy is really exceptional in terms of the technical prowess, but they have
Right.
a lot of heart, and boy, the buildup would be awesome now, wouldn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, because Blair is going to talk like crazy. And so is Rolly. So, But truthfully, I think Blair will win.
Really?
Yeah,
Being the natural weight class and
yeah. I mean, he's really a good boxer. He's not
mm,
the biggest puncher in the world, but he's really a good boxer, and he, he wasn't afraid to throw punches at at Bronner, man. And when he dropped him, I think Bronner was surprised by that, and of course, Bronner never think he loses. So, but I thought Blair won the fight.
guys, I tell you what, my brother from Florida, Anthony Manzano, thank you so much, sir, for the 50 rock super chat. Thank you, my brother. God bless you, man. And for you, Ronnie, it says, has Oscar always been awkward when it comes to interviews? Coach, even when he was a fighter, or did it happen more when he retired? You know what? That's a very awkward question, Anthony. But I tell you what, it's I will say this. I will say this. He was a guy who was better just speaking softly and carrying a big stick to the ring because Oscar could fight and Oscar had balls. Boy, and Ronnie, talk about what a gym rat Oscar was. Now, he liked to party between fights, but when camp started, that guy was a gym rat. He was dedicated and he worked his ass off in the gym. Please expound, Ronnie.
Yes, absolutely. Oscar, when he first turned professional, he was going around to different camps to, he went to Top Rank, of course. Then he went to main events, and he went to other camps to see who he was going to sign with before he uh, before he signed with Top Rank. And he came to our camp, and he actually sparred with Pernell Whitaker and some of the other guys that we had in camp. So, but yeah, man, Oscar worked his butt off, and Oscar was definitely a gym rat, and he's a guy that, whenever you talk to him, he talk nothing but boxing, and he watches a lot of video. He reminds me of Mike Tyson, like watching videos of opponents and
Mm,
then going back and watching old school videos of
mm.
guys so he can pick up on certain things. And, he's always been that way. So, and he definitely was a gym rat.
Well, look, when I was working for Don, what I do know about Oscar, right, is he's a goofball at times. He's silly, right? And you know this, Ronnie. He's a silly dude. He's a goofball at times, and he says the strangest things at times, but he's got a good heart and he's a hard worker. And you can't see, this is where I don't understand why Canelo is actually coming out with all of this nonsense that he was stealing from him. Because Oscar, he's a lot of things, but he's an honest guy. And he's a guy who has a good heart. Um, and you can't question his intent. He genuinely cares about his fighters. He
Yeah.
genuinely loves this sport. And he genuinely wants what's best for it. But yeah, it was a lot better when Richard Schaefer was doing all of the talking to the media, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll tell you what, to be honest, I miss those days because you know what? When Al Heyman, Richard Schaefer, Don Chargan, Eric Gomez, Roberto Diaz, and Oscar De La Hoya were all working on the same page. It was a well oiled machine by far, Ronnie. That
Oh,
was
without
the
a doubt.
best promoter on the earth at one time.
Absolutely.
And Oscar was a big part of that, guys.
Yes, he
And
was.
this would have never happened without Oscar's willingness. But I do think it's interesting. And the reason why we're staying on this is because Anthony was so kind. And Anthony, I'm going to FedEx over. I might even drive up next weekend to get some signed gloves from Coach Ronnie Shields and FedEx them out to you in Florida. So please, if you can, I'm going to disclose my email address. Send me your information on where to send those to, and I'll get those out to you within the next 2 weeks. Okay. So thank you for that, brother. I have to do something for that. That's so kind of you. But look, It's amazing though when Oscar first started this business, right? When Oscar first started in this business, he was oh geez, did you guys hear that?
What, like background or something?
Yeah, do you guys hear that or no? Is my sound guard working? Okay, very good. All right. So when Oscar first started this business, you remember he was like, "I'm gonna do what's best for the fighters. I'm going to." Remember he was talking like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna protect the fighters. It's amazing how Floyd said the same thing when he first started Mayweather Promotions, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, you guys, hey, you got to work. I had to work for that first."
Hey, listen, I had to work hard, you know, when I came up. So these kids, they're gonna have to come up and they're gonna have to work hard too.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said, Big James. That's it. And Oscar said the same thing. And it's amazing. 3 or 4 years into this business, they changed their tune very quickly. Well, that should tell every fighter something. That, you know what? Promoters aren't trying to rip them off. At least one's not named Don King. And there it is. Do you have anything to add to that, Ronnie?
No, you said it all.
And there it is. I often do. I often do. And there, but there it is, brother. And once again, another big 50 spot. Thank you so much, Anthony. I'll tell you what, this is going to be the Manzano show today. It says, Coach, when I look at Gabriel Matias and the way he fights, he reminds me of a mixture of Miguel Cotto and Kelly Pavlik. Your thoughts on that, because that's not that far off, is it? You could even throw in Sugar Shane Mosley at 35.
I was gonna say Sugar Shane Mosley too, because Shane at 35, man, Shane was a woo. Shane didn't stop throwing punches. You know, it was tough, man, to beat Shane Mosley because he just was busy and had fast hands. So, and he hit it spot on.
James, are there any other likenesses? Because I'm sorry, when you look at 140, Miguel Cotto at 140 was a beast.
Yes,
Kelly
he was.
Pavlik at 160 when he was going through Edison Miranda, when he won the title from Jermaine Taylor.
Yep.
That guy looked unstoppable. Now, what is it going to
take? I remember
take?
the Jermaine Taylor fight.
Oh, boy, so does Emmanuel. Or so did Emmanuel. I tell you what, and that's what separated Jermaine Taylor from Emmanuel Stewart, because Emmanuel is like, look, even though you knocked him out in the second, he's winning the fight now. And so Jermaine went out and started to try and take it to Kelly. But Kelly, what most people didn't realize about Kelly Pavlik, this is a guy who's ambidextrous. He could fight southpaw and orthodox. He could actually write his name in cursive, sign his signature with both hands.
Right.
Most people didn't realize that about Kelly. At least most fans didn't. And he could hurt you with either hand. And he didn't even have to load up like Gabriel Matias. It was more of an accumulated effort.
Yeah.
Like poor Edson Miranda, boy, he got it.
Miranda,
oh, boy. Wasn't that the co-main event of Jermaine Taylor, Corey Spinks at 160? You remember that in Atlantic City?
I don't remember that fight.
That's when Emmanuel got on that ass. And he goes, you got 3 more minutes. And he just basically walked off. You're just waiting, you're waiting. You're not throwing any bullshit, but now you got 3 minutes to show yourself. And he just walked off. And he just left Jermaine there in the corner. I was like, man, Emmanuel, I think you got the point, brother. I've seen you get on that ass in the corner, Ronnie, but I can't ever imagine you doing that.
I would never walk off, but I, definitely would use some curse words.
Who was the prospect? Who was the young 8-rounder that Emmanuel is on live TV? And Emmanuel said, if you're not going to listen to me, why am I even here? I'm going to go get a drink. And then he took off and left the fighter there, and he went and got a drink at the bar. Do you remember which fighter? Yeah, I know you remember that.
I remember that, but I don't remember what fight it was. But that was the talk of boxing then.
Yep. Boy, Emmanuel was something else, man. But I tell you what, Anthony, thank you for making our afternoon, brother, and thank you for always supporting the coach, brother. Hold on. Okay, very good. Let's do this. Okay. Um, let's see. Thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna have to send you a signed pair of gloves from Coach Ronnie Shields. And well, maybe we might get some David Morrell Jr. action too, brother. Let's see. Adam Hurley says, Blair's pretty good.
He is pretty good. Got to
He
give it
is
to him.
pretty good. I tell you what, he looked fantastic against Adrian Broner
Yeah, he
this
did.
past. Yeah, he looked this past Friday. He looked fantastic.
He did not
Go
look
ahead, Jay.
like he was out of the ring for 2 years. I'd say that.
No, he didn't.
Indeed. I tell you what, Adrian Broner did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
tell
did.
you what, AB didn't look like the problem. He looked like Fred Sanford. How'd you like it if I put 5 across your lip? Jeez. Luis Trevino, welcome to the show, sir. He says, salute, Joseph. I'm late. Did you already talk about Benavidez' alleged injury? Look, it's not alleged. It happened. But apparently, from what I'm being told from other people in his camp, is that it happened in the beginning of camp. But yeah, you can see it right there in the corner of his left eye, and it required stitches. Obviously, Coach Ronnie, in his professional opinion, is saying that the Nevada State Athletic Commission more than likely is going to let him fight because he's heard of fighters fighting with stitched up, repaired eyes with 3 weeks before the fight?
Yep.
And there it
Absolutely.
is, guys. And look, we're all the beneficiaries. But, Ronnie, if you're Team Gvostic and if you're Eddie Reynoso, you're going to target that left eye, aren't you?
Oh, no doubt. You know, that's a bit of that's a bit of focus at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and and I'm sure they're doing a lot of stuff. To make sure whether he throws right hands at it or whatever. But that's what be the thing because Benavidez is a right-hander, so definitely, you want to move to that right side too to give you more aim at it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him moving to his right to try to get close to that left eye.
Tell you what, pearls of wisdom from the coach. I tell you what, I like the strategy. We'll see if they implement that. Eddie Reynoso is a great coach, so more than likely he will. Look at this Hard Times Boxing. We want to welcome him to the show. He says if Benavidez loses to Gvostic, is the Canelo fight more or less likely to happen? This is very consequential fight this weekend.
Well,
Ronnie,
definitely. If Benavidez loses, yeah, he definitely loses the fight with Canelo. That fight is going to definitely be off. The thing about it is, this is a tough fight for Benavidez. But, while I feel he's going to win, if he does lose this, yeah, he's going to lose the fight with Canelo. No ifs and buts about it.
And there it is. I tell you what, guys, this is a litmus test from Team Canelo because a lot of people don't realize that Alex is Canelo's chief sparring partner. And so this is pretty much this is pretty much a search party right here. Yeah. We're going to see, they want to see exactly what Benavidez has. But if Benavidez mows through that ass, do you think that's going to enhance or decrease the chances of the Canelo fight actually happening, Coach?
It's going to decrease. I mean, come on, man. That's the same. They're in the same camp,
That's it.
So this guy's going to tell him, hey, man, leave this dude alone.
Yep. This is the litmus test, guys. This
Absolutely.
is the litmus test. But if you're Benavidez and you understand that, do you try to carry this guy? Do you try to let up? Or no, you never want to do that with someone who's a former pound-for-pound guy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Benavidez got to be Benavidez. He can't
Mm-hmm.
go in and say, I'm just gonna play with this guy and just to win a decision. No. You wanna knock his ass out.
Mm. I tell you what, he seems laser focused too. Everything I've heard from him in camp, his team, and everything we saw, he just looks like he's got that mean streak, doesn't he,
Oh yeah,
Ronnie?
he does. He has the mean streak. He
Mm.
definitely has the mean streak. No doubt.
I tell you what, and I don't know what this means, Adam Hurley, but hey, it's just as good as anybody. I'll take him over Coach or President Biden right now. Did I say that on the show? Oh, Chingao. Look, the Kegi says Liam Perro better than you're making him out to be. It's far tougher, though, seeing as it's in Puerto Rico. Yeah, now you're coming up with excuses, brother. Come on, brother. Look, just go look at the Shoshan Ergashev fight. You can't tell me that Liam Perro is better than Shoshan Ergashev. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, what
I
number are
don't
we
know.
on? I don't even know what number we're on
Yeah, he
anymore,
mixed it
brother.
up. Maybe they were impressed with his performance against Montana Love. I don't know,
Oh, geez.
man.
Montana love. Be still my heart. Chingao. Chingao,
All
dude.
right.
Anyway, oh, speaking of Cleveland, yeah, my Reds are playing the Cleveland Guardians tonight. So let's get this trainer rolling. Number
Right.
5, Big James.
Here you go. Trainer Robert Garcia is correct when he states Frank Martin will prove to be Tank Davis's toughest assignment to date. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact. As I said earlier, you know, Frank Martin he's no joke. He's a really good fighter. He's where he's at because, because he is just that good. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's Tank. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. This is going to be a tough fight for both guys.
James, do you have anything add from all the notes that you've been taking leading up to this fight?
I mean, I kind of look at the thing when it comes to the odds for this particular fight, and I see
I
that
think they're a little wide.
they have Tank Davis as a significant favorite in this, like at least 7-1 or higher
7 to
than
1
that.
is right. Yep.
And I'm like, nah, like if folks are saying, if a lot of folks are saying that they're looking forward to this fight and this being a close bout and Tank Davis dealing with someone that's a fellow southpaw, like we explained earlier, that he hasn't been in the ring with that often in his professional career, then why would he be such a significant favorite? I know that Tank has his 27 stoppage wins in 29 complete fights, but there's a time where he has a low period, whether it's at the beginning of the fight or in the middle of the fight, where he doesn't really do that much as far as like activity. He's more of like a counterpuncher by trade anyway. So if you're an educated aggressor, so to speak, in that you're able to, do what you have to do, but don't go too much, with that for where, Tank could basically time you and counter you and catch
You
you.
work behind that intelligent jab.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think that Frank Martin does have the opportunity to build on a good number of rounds here. And if he's able to, manage the distance very well, then he should have a real good shot at this.
You know what? With that said, and Ronnie, isn't that awesome? Doesn't James make the show awesome? Isn't that cool?
Absolutely.
I tell you what,
Absolutely.
one of the best decisions I've ever made is asking James to be the co-host of this show. James, you're an asset, brother. God bless you guys. And if you haven't already, please go bookmark theboxingsource.net. James, you're awesome, brother. I tell you what, though. You know what, guys? If you didn't hear our show on Sunday, the Warwick Boxing Sexy Bet, and once again, there's a saying in this business: if you're thinking about gambling, if you sweat it, don't bet it. Only bet if you have money to play with. All right,
Yeah.
guys. With that said, our Warwick Boxing Sexy Bet is a straight up Frank Martin victory at a plus 450 and a Tank Davis knockout within rounds, a round group bet, 10 through 12. Oh, it's at a plus 350. Guys, with that strategy, you can't lose. And there it is. There it is. But once again, bet responsibly. And if you sweat it, don't bet it. Right? And there it is. There it is.
Mhm.
Let's move on to Coach Ronnie's fighter, number 7, sir.
All right. Vito Mielnicki Jr. will take on Xander Zayas in the big room at Madison Square Garden in 2025. Fact or fiction?
That's gonna be a fact.
Woo!
You know, these
Woo!
two
I
guys,
say,
these two guys are friends. These two guys actually grew up together,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really good friends. But they both want to fight each other. So,
Mhm.
you know, Vito will be fighting his first fight with Top Rank on August the 10th. And, you know, he's really looking forward to it. He's excited. You know, he feels great. And, but he realizes that in order to get Xander, he has to stay focused on what's in front of him first. And then we can look at Xander's Zayas.
And there it is. There it is. Full steam ahead. Tell you
Uh,
what, I like the
Joe,
idea of both men being in the big room next year, this time next year. Puerto Rican Day Parade next year. How do you like it, James?
hey, I may smell something there because
Yeah,
I think Coach Ronnie dropped a little bit of a tidbit or
and
news
there it is.
news story there that hey I didn't necessarily expect. So hey,
Like I said, James, we learn something new every time we visit with Coach Ronnie every Tuesday, and there it is. Let's stay in with this past weekend. Number 9, Big James.
no one will defeat Shushu Carrington at 126 pounds. No one. Fact or
Hmm.
fiction?
I don't know. I don't know, Shushu.
What?
Sorry.
You didn't see the co-main event? Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington from New Jersey.
I didn't say it.
Out of
Oh,
Brownsville, New York.
that's it. That's it. Wasn't he born in Newark? No, am I getting
He's
mixed up?
yeah,
Am I getting
he's a
confused
he's
with
Brownsville through and through.
oh, see, I'm getting mixed. I'm getting confused. Ronnie's fighter, Vito Milnecki, born in Newark. My apologies. That's right.
Yeah,
Tony
I didn't see
Soprano.
Shushu fight.
That's right.
I did. I missed
Oh,
that one.
look, I have to ask you this, Coach, and I wasn't going to bring this up on the air, but I absolutely have to because inquiring minds want to know, and I'm sure our your listeners are thinking the same exact thing. Were you a bit taken aback and surprised when Vito Sr. signed that contract with his son to go work with Top Rank Inc. on ESPN?
Was I surprised? No, absolutely not.
Mm,
Think about it. I've learned in the boxing business is, you have to keep it as business. You know, you
mm-hmm.
have to,
Mhm.
you have to do what's best. That if you're a manager, right, and this is your son also, you have to, do the best you can and put fighters in the best position to move their career at the highest level. And he feels his son, Vito Senior feels his son, he's at that point to where, he needs to stay busy. He got to, he got to move on in order to get to the top. And
Yep.
he feel, and he just feel that right now, Top Rank is the best place for his son. So
Mm.
this is why, he made the move.
Mm. And there it is. And there it is. The dubious number 10 coach.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission will find that cut on David Benavidez' left eye and scratch him from the card this Saturday. Fact or fiction?
I would say fiction because
Mm.
here's the thing, right? David is gonna. We don't. I don't know if they did this already. They probably went to Las Vegas already and met with the doctors for the commission, and I'm sure they've taken a look at it and say, "Hey, you good, you're good." I think if it happened maybe like 2 3 weeks ago, he should be fine. And it all depends on how deep the cut is.
Mm-hmm.
Like for my guy Philip, he took 6 stitches, but it wasn't that deep. It wasn't deep enough to stitch him inside out. it was, it was just a cut. It was like a hairline fracture. So if it's something like that, just hairline, yeah, of course they're gonna let him go.
Mm.
Well, from what I was told, this was more than just 6 stitches. But once
Yeah.
again, I will say this: his baby mama, that was right there at the grand arrivals, she did a great job with the makeup, didn't she, James?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to her. Kudos to her. I'll tell you what. Sid UK says Hank Davis missed the presser earlier today. My guess, he was busy getting his nails painted. I still believe he will beat Frank Martin, the backup dancer for American Idol. Look, look, look. Why did Tank Davis miss the grand arrival?
Man, I have no idea, man. I have no clue. My thing was, I was still taken aback at his comment, before the grand arrivals. I'm like, why would you? Like, I'm not sure why you would put that out there in the public before the grand arrivals, because
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Live edition of the rumor mill on the boxingsource.net. What are you talking about, sir?
Okay, let's see. You know that Gervonta Tank Davis is known to delete his tweets.
Yep.
So I, of course, had to basically get a screenshot of
Uh-oh.
that,
Uh-oh.
because that's basically what you do when you have guys that delete a lot of tweets. And okay, this is his words, and y'all probably see it here. The promotion, quote, the promotion for this fight has been, donkey do or whatever it is.
What?
Well, ass is what he said. Now watch, I don't show up to the arrivals SHT today. That was what he said.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Why would you? I will never
Like I
understand
said,
this from fighters. Why would you bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah,
that
that's
that's
crazy.
what I
All he
said.
done is hurting
That
himself.
was as of just right before 7 p.m. Eastern time, which was like about a good 20-30 minutes when they started the thing for the grand arrivals. So I was like, ooh, I see that. And then, about an hour and a half later or so, all you seen was Calvin Ford there saying that, there was a delay, so we couldn't make it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Ching Yao. Coach Ronnie,
Wow.
your thoughts, brother.
Man,
Are you going
this
to
is a
plead the
pay.
fifth?
No, this is a pay-per-view event.
Yep.
You gotta do your part to make sure this is a success. And when you miss these events like this, people say, "Hey, if you don't care, why should we care?" You know,
Ooh.
and I mean, you got to publicize this fight. That's the most important thing. People spending good money, to make this happen, and
Mm.
you're the biggest part of it, and you don't show up, and but to put something out like that and don't think somebody's going to catch it, it's crazy. You know, that means that you don't care about the promotion, and that's not good for you.
Mm. Coach, and when your fighter is making over $10 million in a guaranteed purse, is that acceptable?
Not at all, man. I mean, right is right, man, and wrong is wrong. You just,
Yep.
you got to, people are paying you hard-earned money. You
Yep.
know, this is a promotion. You're the biggest part of it. And you don't show up to it. That that makes people think, hey, man, well, you don't care about it. Why should
Mm.
we?
Mm.
And there's going to be a lot of people that's going to look at this and say, hey, man, I'm not going to support this. Why should we if he's going to take it this way? It's just not right. It's not right to himself, number one. And it's definitely not right to Frank, or TGB, PBC,
Yep.
Nobody. It's not right for anybody, because, that was just selfish, and he need to put out a statement apologizing for what he's done.
No, the best you're gonna get from him is an eraser of that tweet. That's the best you're gonna get from Tank. Chihuahua. I tell you what. And you know what, Luis Trevino, thank you for hanging with the coach there. He says, bingo, Mr. Shields. He don't care. We won't either. Let's just hope there are enough Benavidez fans that choose to purchase this event. Look, say what you want about Ryan Garcia and all of his, well, strange antics leading up to that fight at the Barclays. But he didn't do this, did he?
Oh no, nothing like this, man.
Hmm.
And I'm surprised that Tank did something like this. I really am.
Well, maybe the Iceman, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach on this day. Maybe he has the beat. He couldn't find a matching purse with his outfit. Come on, give him a break. Oh, Chingo. Oh, geez. Well, I think that's about it for Fact or Fiction. James, do you have any other questions for the esteemed Mr. Ronnie Shields?
No, we just looking forward to seeing what will happen here. Like I said, news with the Vito Milnicki Jr. So
speaking of Vito, what's your favorite Vito Senior quote?
Oh goodness.
Or is it allowed on YouTube?
It's probably not allowed.
Oh, Chihuahua. I tell you what, Eric Rosas, thank you. We didn't forget about you, brother. He says, Matias lost to Petros Anayan. It's easy for me to say. And Anayan, they rematched 2 years later, and Matias stopped him in the ninth. I knew that. Yep. And look, speaking of, Kardashian, what do you think of Jerron Boots Ennis being slated now to fight David Avanesian in Philly next month, sir?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good fight. But, but this kid is not going to be Boots. Boots is such a great fighter, man. And I don't see anybody right now, beating him, right now, except for a guy like a Terrence Crawford, if he was decide to come back down.
And there it is. There it is, brother. I tell you what, do you see anyone beating Boots at 47, sir?
No, I don't. I don't see anybody beating him at 147.
Chihuahua. Guys, stay tuned. And there it is. Guys, we've come to the end of the road. I think that's about it. James, do you have anything else, sir?
Nope. Just got something else for an article right there.
And there it is. And there it is. And there it is. Woo! I tell you what, guys, it is always a treat to do convene with the incomparable Mr. Ronnie Shields. I tell you what, we always learn something new and always get several great quotes for articles. Awesome. Coach, I tell you what, thank you so much for once again another awesome Tuesday. James, your parting shots before we get the closing from Coach Ronnie.
Well, like I said, just thankful for another episode of Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields, and be sure to catch us here next week for another great episode.
Yeah, we'll do our post-fight. We'll see what Coach Ronnie thinks about this pay-per-view this weekend. And guys, and I hope, once again, if you don't feel like paying for it, go support the businesses who are showing it for free. And yep, Ronnie's official mascot of War Week Boxing agrees with him.
Absolutely.
And guys, once again, I'll be hosting a fight party at Dave & Buster's in San Antonio. If you're in the neighborhood, be sure to come by, guys. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have ring card girls. I'm going to be dressed up in my tux. I'm going to be doing the ring announcing thing. Yeah, I don't sound a lot like I do on this show when I do ring announcing. Got to come check that out. But guys, Ronnie, please take us home, my friend.
You can always follow me on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
Guys, on behalf of the incomparable Ronnie Shields and Big J.R. Bell, And did I mention Coach Ronnie Shields, future Hall of Famer? I tell you what, guys, we're very fortunate indeed to be able to meet with Coach Ronnie Shields every Tuesday. On behalf of the great one, I'm little old Joseph Heron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
W.A.W proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer Ronnie Shields.